because my next guest just testified before a federal grand jury. He says he was in possession of a trove of digital evidence from Diddy's freak-offs and parties. His name is Courtney Burgess, and he says a friend gave him 11 flash drives that belonged to the late Kim Porter. And if you follow this story, you'll know that Kim Porter is Diddy's ex-girlfriend and the mother of 4 of his kids. On those drives, the witness says 8 videos featured 8 celebrities at Diddy freak-offs or parties, and that 6 were males, 2 were females.
Can you talk about what you saw on these flash drives?
Of those 8 videos, 8 celebrities, 6 men and 2 women, how many of those 8 celebrities were close to being underage or potentially underage?
2 males.
Guest today, Courtney B. And Courtney B is a entertainment manager, and he has quite a resume. Courtney, you want to give us a little bit of rundown of some of the artists you've worked with?
Because my next guest just testified before a federal grand jury. He says he was in possession of a trove of digital evidence from Diddy's freak-offs and parties. His name is Courtney Burgess, and he says a friend gave him 11 flash drives that belonged to the late Kim Porter. And if you follow this story, you'll know that Kim Porter is Diddy's ex-girlfriend and the mother of 4 of his kids. On those drives, the witness says 8 videos featured 8 celebrities at Diddy freak-off or parties, and that 6 were males, 2 were females. Can you talk about what you saw on these flash drives of those 8 videos? 8 celebrities, 6 men and 2 women. How many of those 8 celebrities were close to being underage or potentially underage? 2 MES. You guys gather around the tapes. Rod Borges is naming names, and to be honest, I haven't recovered from what he said about J-Lo. Diddy's team is in full panic mode, begging judges to gag Courtney before he drops even more dirt. Meanwhile, Diddy's family is pulling every PR stunt that they can muster on his birthday, trying to save face. But let's be real, the man is literally down and out at this point. Imagine the disgrace of going from dining with kings to nibbling on some overcooked, unseasoned piece of chicken in jail. For someone who was once a role model to many, it is truly embarrassing. As you can see, there is so much to catch up on, love. So without any further ado, let's get right into one of the darkest things I've ever covered. We have a very special guest today, Courtney B. And Courtney B. is an entertainment manager, and he has quite a resume. Courtney, you want to give us a little bit of rundown of some of the artists you've worked with in the past? For years, everyone knew him as the smooth party-throwing big boss type, but the uglier side has come out to haunt Diddy. Courtney Borgess just testified before a federal grand jury, and what he revealed is disturbing. On a whole new level, apparently this guy has 11 flash drives full of explicit footage from Diddy's so-called freak-offs that involve celebrities. But here's where things started getting a twist. You see, for the longest time people have blamed these celebs for covering for Diddy, but according to Courtney's shocking revelation, not only were these celebs filmed without their consent, but they had also been unknowingly intoxicated. So no, it was not some harmless fun. We are talking about situations where people were totally vulnerable, with some celebrities so out of it that they didn't even know what was happening. Y'all, Courtney is saying that on these tapes people are unconscious and look completely dazed, and yet the cameras are still rolling. Courtney said that all 8 people in the tapes appeared to be victimized. Let that sink in. Was supposedly in a vulnerable state. Out of the 8 celebrities who were recorded having intimate relations with Sean Combs, how many of them appear to be either inebriated or intoxicated or into the influence? All of them. All of them. But it gets even darker. Courtney hinted that some of the footage also includes undercover filming in places where people would expect total privacy, like imagine going to use the bathroom and not knowing a hidden camera is rolling. It is beyond messed up, and it is terrifying to think that someone would violate people and then violate their privacy like this. Were there any cameras in places where you'd assume privacy, like bathrooms? Well, I never been in this house, but the picture, yes, that's what took place. Yeah, I told y'all, this is one for the books. It is next level disturbing. Imagine thinking you're at an exclusive party only to find out later that you were secretly filmed, and now there are tapes of you out there in someone else's hands. The weird part, Diddy has been caught bragging on social media before about how intense his parties are. There's this one video clip from an old party where Diddy's grinning ear to ear saying, "This is what happens when you come to my parties," as some guy is sprawled out on the floor, totally passed out and could easily be suffocating. Yep, that's the kind of stuff that Diddy was proud of. Y'all, the audacity is unreal. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, for all those in London that don't know what happens to the white man when he comes to a P. Diddy party, this is what happens to the white man. Oh, it's so unfortunate. We got to pull back though so they can see that. CRA Matt, move out the way. You're still alive. Look at that. Look what you would drink on his head. And that's James from S Mobile Disco. He is a actual DJs aren't supposed to pass out, but when they come to one of my parties, this is what happens to him. Should I put him to sleep next day? Right, you put the drink on his head. There it is. Damn, let's back it up a little bit here, y'all, before we get ahead of ourselves. Everyone has been asking who this Borgess guy is and how he acquired these damning videos. Turns out Courtney Borgess isn't just some random guy. throwing accusations around, and this is where things get thicker. Turns out this man has been in the industry for 35 years working with legends like Nelly and Tupac. He is not here for the clout, he knows his stuff and has personal history with Diddy, and let me tell you, Courtney's got some deep connections. This man is the godson of Frank Lucas, yep, the infamous Lord, and guess who else was tight with Frank? Diddy's father Melvin. I mean, this beef between Courtney and Diddy goes back generations. We are not just talking about industry drama, we're talking about decades of buried secrets coming to life. Apparently back in the day, Diddy's father and Frank were involved in some serious business, and when Diddy's father passed away, Courtney says Frank used to point Diddy out like, oh, that's Melvin's son, they all know each other, y'all, family ties and everything. But whatever respect might have been there was right out the window, because Courtney isn't holding back now. He is out here saying he has seen Diddy go from the ambitious kid to, and I quote, Lucifer. That is how disgusted he is with who Diddy has become, and honestly I'm starting to see why. So what is on these tapes, you ask? Courtney is saying that one of the 11 footage includes 8 celebrities, 6 men and 2 women, who were allegedly victims at these parties, with at least 2 of the men being underage at the time. And it doesn't stop there. Courtney claims that all of these celebrities were extremely under the influence of something, making them unable to fully understand what was happening around them. These tapes supposedly capture moments where people were too out of it to even know that they were being filmed. Now, as if this whole situation wasn't twisted enough, another YouTuber named A Strong caught on an interview where Courtney supposedly named some celebrities on the tapes, and y'all, let me tell you, it is not just random names. These are big players in Hollywood and the music industry, people you would never imagine we're talking about. Footage with A-list names from J-Lo, who allegedly got caught on camera using certain self-pleasuring items, to Kevin Hart in situations where he seemed completely out of it. And then there's LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, and even Will Smith's son. My heart actually sank when I heard about LeBron James, but y'all, the list goes on and the stories just keep getting worse. Courtney's out here describing scenes where some of the biggest names in Hollywood were doing things you could never imagine, and honestly, I do not think Hollywood is ready for this kind of exposure. I seen J-Lo jabbing herself with a or some type of object. I seen Wanted Game walked around Game the rapper walked around D. He had a party and Justin had to be no more than 15 or 16, could have been 16. It was said happy birthday and the bottle was in his hand. Would nobody drink out of it, but he gave it to Justin. Justin drunk it. He was gone. Like, is that the one when he dropped down to his knees to drink it first? Like he wasn't kind, right? What was up with the dropping down to the knees? Was that a ritual or just my thoughts? I don't know what was in the bottle, but I believe it's probably could have been GHB. That's a try. You know, if you drink that, I could say go to the bank and withdraw your money out. You go to the bank, withdraw your money out, right? You do. You under my control now. If you, yeah, no wonder Hollywood is terrified. Courtney says they are panicking, trying to buy their way out of the situation, throwing money around to keep their names out of it. He says the entire industry is on fire because if these tapes come out, it is over, and let's be real, they should be worried. Courtney's testimony is bringing out a whole new level of skeletons from Hollywood's closet, and these aren't the kinds of things you can just brush under the rug. So in a nutshell, these tapes feature some well-known names in compromising situations, and it's not the type of footage anyone would want out there. Courtney said the videos were so disgusting that he couldn't even make it through to the end. He literally said he had to look away when it came to certain scenes. It is that bad and tell you someone to look at it. That I seen all the parties, all the stuff. I didn't watch too much of because 2 men have 3 and I ain't into watching men have watching the man have sex. So you actually had the physical drives, yes, and then you got them from who? And just so you know, this isn't some little back and forth gossip. This is serious enough that federal marshals got involved. Yeah, federal authorities who were so intrigued by Courtney's claims that they actually went to his multiple residences to serve him a subpoena. And while Courtney says he wasn't technically raided, the fact that they even went to these links shows just how serious they're taking this. I mean, the feds don't just get involved unless there is some serious stuff on the table. First, your home was raided by federal authorities, and I assume it is because of this